Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna head up the barn, just in the office at the moment. So we're gonna head up to the workshop and we're gonna take a look at Barnfind. It's been a little while, as I said in the last video, it's been too long. So today we're gonna have a look at it. We're gonna see exactly what we need to do to get this project back on track. And fingers crossed, we might even have Mike to do some welding. So let's get in the coupe and let's head up the barn. So since the last video, there was Santa Pod. Now, that was a great show and it was great to catch up with some old friends who I haven't seen in a long time and some new friends. It was just great to actually get to a car show and meet everyone, and it was a lot more chilled than Ultimate Dubs. If you haven't been to Santa Pod, you've got the drag strip, you've got the show and shine. So yeah, do you know what? It was just a great chilled day. Even though I was scraping ice off the car in the morning, I still managed to get sunburnt. Then after that, I went to Caffeine and Machine with Martin from Grey Goose Restorations. Do you know what? It was a great evening. The sun was out, so we had a really nice drive up through the Cotswolds countryside. And then we got to Caffeine and Machine and had a nose around some really cool German metal. But definitely worth going, and I will be going back again. Up at the barn, you can see we've got Barnfind behind me. There's a couple of cars under covers. We've got the Mrs. A3 here that I need to get out and take that home because that's actually going up for sale. But anyway, need to dig out Barnfind so I can have a good look around and see exactly what we need to do to get back on track. But I'm going to get this off because it is roasting today. The weather is absolutely beautiful, but here we are in the barn. So with the Audi out of the way, you can see that actually this has become a bit of a dumping ground behind me. And Barnfind is somewhat of a barn find all over again. It's just, I mean, we've got bins up against it, we've got the carpets on the roof. It's looking very, very sorry for itself, and it's a far cry from when we jet washed it off to get all that dirt off it. So as you can see down here, we've got Barnfind's engine. We've also got the G60 engine on the stand. We've got some Seat Ibiza parts, some wheels. All of this needs a good clear out. So I'm going to pull all of this out so we can have a proper look around Barnfind and really start to get back on track with this project, because I'm desperate to see some progress, and I'm sure you guys are too. So without further ado, let's pull all this rubbish out and see exactly what we're up against. So it's been a while, so let's get up to speed with Barnfind. Now, if you're new here, you might not be familiar with Barnfind. We've got a playlist for the last sort of 4 videos that we've done on it. Now, what did we do? So we bought this, it hadn't been on the road for probably about 6 years, 5.5, 6 years, something like that. And the idea was to do a quick, simple, sort of go through the car, get it back on the road and have some fun with it. But it turned out that there was a lot of rust in this car. So yeah, kind of, you buy a car unseen that hasn't been on the road for 5 or 6 years, you're asking for trouble, unless you're really lucky. I was not. So with this, we cleaned it, we had a look, I took the dash out and obviously then found the holes in the bulkhead. So then we went on to take the engine out live. That was an ordeal. If you haven't seen it, it's about 2.5 hours of a grown man gradually losing his shit. So long story short, there's no engine in the car, so obviously I got it out. If you watched it live, thanks very much for your support. I couldn't have done it without you. And then, of course, we had a look at it, and that's where the project kind of ground to a halt, because I needed someone to weld it, and that's been a challenge with everything that's been going on lately. So let's have a look, get familiar with the car, and see what we're going to do next with it. So as we look here, we've got the interior is already stripped out. So you can see in here, we pulled the carpets out. We've got a big hole where the rust used to be. I'll come on to that in a moment. We've pulled the dash loom out. Obviously there's no dash. The fuse box is out. So with the fact that the engine was already out, it seemed like a good idea at this point. Actually, you know what? Let's do an engine swap. Let's go crazy. Let's do a big build on this, because frankly, I fell out of love with the project after being at Ultimate Dubs and then Santa Pod. Do you know what? I'm really excited to have a really cool Mark II. Now, obviously, you know, my coupe is probably outside crying because that is a really cool Mark II, but I want to get my teeth into this and build something that's, yeah, that's just really cool. So what have we done so far? Well, obviously, as you see, we've stripped the interior out. We've cut this plate out. They literally just threw that plate over the top without cutting any of the nastiness out from underneath. This is where all the rust was. There's a bit of rust here as well, so we're going to have to replace that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just plate this flat. Now, there's normally like a little swage that comes down here, but to be fair, it's going to be hidden behind a big downpipe. It's going to be hidden behind some sound deadening. This car isn't going back to be completely factory standard, so do you know what? It kind of makes sense just to do the repair, do it nice, put some good, clean, fresh metal in there, but not worry about a small little swage line because A, no one's going to see it. B, this is not going to be standard and factory when it's done. So back here in the depths of the barn is where we keep the really cool stuff. So I've got my coupe back here, I've got my TT back here, got Dean's car back here, but we've also got a couple of engines. So as you'll have seen at the front of the barn, I've got my G60 engine, I've got a 1.8T engine, I've got the original engine out of Barnfind, so the 8-valve GTI engine. But back here, I've got two more. So as you can see here, we've got, this is an AMK out of a Seat Leon Cooper R. It's actually my old engine. I had this in my old Leon. It's got about 93,000 miles on the clock. I'd just done a top end rebuild, and then I bought another Leon that had already been completely gone through, and I thought, well, I don't need two Leons. And so I just broke it. I sold a load of parts off it, kept this engine because I knew it was a really good engine, and here we are. So I've got a low mileage AMK, so the 215 brake horsepower lump out of a Audi S3 or a Seat Leon Cooper R. Obviously it was remapped up to about 280 brake horsepower, so it's got all of that good stuff. We could just drop that into Barnfind. Gonna need to get someone to do the loom. I've got an idea, someone reached out to me. It'd be really great to pick up with them and talk about getting the 8-valve GTI loom sent off to them with the Leon loom to get them spliced into one. And then we've got the bodywork. So there's something that I kind of feel I'm desperate to put on a car, and that's a body kit. If you know me, you know I love a good body kit on a Mark II. I've got my GTI Engineering Jetta. That's got the Zender kit on it. And I've got another kit that I was originally planning to put on my grey Jetta Coupe, but I bottled it at the last minute. But I think we're going to put it on Barnfind. So yes, I've had that full BBS body kit for a long time. I did actually manage to pick up a second rear valance that I was going to kind of cut and join with the other one and put it onto the back of the Jetta Coupe, so it's got that long enough bit to go all the way with the extra length of the Jetta boot. But do you know what? I bottled it at the last minute, and I just thought, you know what, well, it can just sit here and I'll find something to put it on. And then after Ultimate Dubs, I thought, you know what, this is the perfect car for it. This is where this kit's going to end up. And who doesn't love a BBS body kit on a Mark II Golf? So what do you think? Is it the right kit to put on this car? What are your thoughts? Do you like body kits? Do you like them original? Is a BBS kit original? So guys, tell me what you think down below in the comments. After Ultimate Dubs, just got really excited for body kits, for wheels and everything else. What wheels do we put on there? Do we put some standard 15-inch BBS RAs? Funnily enough, I've got a set here in the barn. Or do we put those B-Star 16x8 RAs on there? Would that absolutely complete the look of this car with that kit? I don't know. Great to hear what you guys think. But still, look, I think that's kind of an update on Barnfind now. So we're back up here at the weekend to weld that plate in and kind of start piecing all the bits together, looking at the bits that I've got here in the barn, some of the bits that I'm going to need to go out and buy to get this engine back in. As I say, I'm going to need to send that loom out to get it done, and there's some other bits and pieces I need to look at. So with that in mind, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. We'll be right back.